good to feel some fresh country air in my lungs again.
Yes.
In London, you always feel that you're the third person to breathe it in.
Wonder if Dad's finding that. Won't you talk about it?
There isn't anything to say.
You haven't been in touch with him at all.
Nope.
Well, he has been trying terribly hard to find you.
I know.
You do? How?
A Salvation Army woman turned up at place I stayed at.
They came here too.
Here? What did you tell them?
Well, what could I tell them? Nothing. I didn't know anything, did I? Oh, Mum, he really wants to find you. Not to force you back or anything.
I don't want to talk about it,
He feels so guilty.
Guilty.
Yes, of course he does. It's natural.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it.
He only wants to talk.
Look, if you feel your loyalties are to your father, well, I understand that. I'll go.
Where?
That's my affair.
Oh, Mum, please. My loyalties, as you put it, aren't to Dad or to you, for that matter. They're to both of you.
But you promised.
Yes, I know, but I didn't promise not to talk about it.
No.
Oh, Mum, I'm only trying to help.
Yes, I know you are. I know you are. Look, it's just I have to deal with one thing at a time, and there have to be priorities. Just give me time, Penny. Don't press me.
I'm not pressing you. If you're talking about priorities, perhaps you should deal with the cause and not the effect first.
Well, you don't think we could get together again, do you, after everything?
Oh, I don't know. And right now, it really doesn't matter. But you just can't throw aside 28 years of your life and pretend they never happened. And still remain sane.
You think I'm mad?
Oh, no, of course I don't. I'm just trying to answer your point about priorities.
Yes, well, before I can think of anything at all, I have to have time. Just... Look, Penny, I've been here, there, and everywhere. I don't know whether I'm standing on my head or my heels, and if you tried to force me to do anything, I'll just go somewhere else.
Well, where to?
I wouldn't tell you. Oh, can't you just give me a few days just to calm down and gather my wits together? I mean, is that too much to ask?
No, it's not. If you'll just promise me one thing faithfully.
What?
That you won't just disappear, just go. Otherwise I won't have any peace of mind. I'll be frightened to go down to the village shop in case you're not here when I come back.
Yes, all right, I can see that.
Well, I must say I'm very impressed. You're pulling pints like a veteran.
There you are, sir.
How much is that?
That's all right, it's on me.
And if you don't let me pay, I won't be able to come in here.
41 pence, then, please.
Thank you.
Not working today?
No, I did a bit this morning, but I want to talk to you.
Oh, anything wrong?
No, nothing specific. Just the ongoing missing mother situation in the jargon.
Simon, I'm doing all I can. And as a matter of fact, yesterday, I missed her by about 3 hours.
You didn't tell me?
Well, I acted as soon as I got the information. You see, when Liz got back to her office, she found a message giving us an address, so I went round. And your mother had left it a few hours before.
She might go back then.
No, I don't think she will.
Why not, Dad?
Gin and tonic, please.
Ice and lemon?
Yes, please. It's chilly out.
Yes, it is.
I hadn't seen you in here before.
No, I just dropped in.
You live around here?
No, I came round to see my dad.
Yes. He lives around here then?
Yes.
minute, Penny.
Yes, please, Mum. Yes.
Oh, I called to see Mrs. Johnson, but aren't you?
No. I mean, Penny. Penny! Nothing. There's a lady who wants to see you. I've got a headache.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want to come in?
Thank you. I take it that was your mother. I recognised her from a photograph. I don't know who was the more surprised.
Yes, she turned up late last night out of the blue.
She seems a little disturbed.
Yes.
She knew we were looking for her.
Yes.
I'd better see her.
Well, do you think that's wise?
Oh, I'd say it was essential. Do you want her running off again because she thinks she's being pursued by the army? Even if it's only the Salvation Army?
Well, yes. Yes. You'd better come through. Mum?
I said I didn't want to see anybody. I suppose I'll get some privacy in my bedroom.
Mrs. Brett, I've only come to tell you that as far as I'm concerned, our case is closed. It's over.
What do you mean?
Well, you were reported to us as a missing person and we were asked to find you. We have, so you're no longer missing.
Yes, but as soon as you report to my husband that you found me, even if you say I don't want to see him, he'll guess where I am.
Oh, there's no question of that, Mrs. Brett. I shan't be speaking to your husband. I shall report to London that you're safe, well, and you do not wish your whereabouts to be disclosed. It'll be the London office that tells him. They won't even hint which area found you.
Oh, but how do I know that you were,
That I won't break my word? It's a good question, and I'll answer it, honestly. We were asked to find you, and we have. You're safe, comfortable, in a home in which you're loved. I know that because I spoke to your daughter a week or two ago.
Did you tell her I'd arrived?
She didn't, Mrs. Brett. I was passing here and dropped in just to keep in touch, to ask your daughter if she'd heard anything. As I said, I found you in a loving home. If as a result of my visit you went away again, and in 6 months were found by another officer living in one of our hostels, or worse, sleeping rough, how do you think I'd feel then, Mrs. Brett? I'll tell you, I'd find that very hard to cope with. So you see, I've a very selfish reason for asking you to believe your secret is safe with me.
All right, I accept that, and thank you.
Goodbye, then. We shan't meet again unless you want to. Your daughter has my number if you wanted to talk or anything. There'd be no strings, but if you don't, goodbye. I wish you well.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Mummy, I think I'm...
Yes, go on, Penny.
Dad, we've really got to do something. Days, weeks pass, we're getting no nearer to finding her.
I did get near.
Yes, but we're back to square one now.
Which rather worse than that, Simon. At square one, I knew she had 2 friends in London. Now I think it possible she hasn't any.
And where has she gone? I mean, we've really got to think of every conversation we have ever had with her about London.
Do you think I haven't lain here night after night racking my brains?
Or does she have any money?
No, as far as I know, practically none.
Oh, God, we should have had this conversation before. If I'd have been working with you on this, if we'd been working together, we might have got to that place sooner.
I don't think so, Simon. It hasn't been like that. In any case, you have your work.
Well, the hell with my work. I think you're giving it up anyway.
Your research? Oh, surely not. Why?
Well, getting that criminal conviction won't help any. It rules out all sorts of jobs. Jobs needing a security clearance.
But there are lots of others. An academic job, for instance, with your first.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. I've been getting more dissatisfied with it for some time.
For how long?
A couple of months or so.
Since your mother went.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now, look, Simon, when we find her, and we will, it's going to be very hard for her to overcome her guilt. Now, do you think it'll help if she thinks she's also spoiled your career?
Oh, do you really believe that she'd think my abandoning an academic career was a cause for guilt? She'd probably think she'd saved me from a fate worse than death.
What do you mean?
It's nothing, really. It's nothing.
Oh, yes, it is. Now, you insisted on knowing everything. Now it's my turn. Tell me what you meant.
Well, isn't it obvious, Dad? She was married to an academic, and it was a disaster for her. That is what we are doing here, trying to pick up the pieces of a disaster.
All right. What did she say?
Oh, nothing. Jokes, mainly, about, you being lost in books.
You're being lost in books, being as a gerund.
Your pedantry!
Oh, dear, dear, dear. Look, our marriage failed, and I'm perfectly prepared to accept a personal responsibility, but that is to do with me, not academia.
Do you really believe that, Dad? I'm in universities too, you know, you aren't unique. It's bad enough in the science departments where there are objective problems, outside contracts to keep people's feet on the ground. But the arts faculties are full of lecturers who actually do very little.
That's just a canal.
Oh, is it? Oh, tell me, after you spent 4 hours serving beer in a pub for what, 10 quid?
8.
Or working as a shop assistant, or whatever other crazy job you've done, can you honestly tell me, looking back, that you really earned all that money?
Yes, I do.
Yes. You may have. You had a large department, a lot of administration, but I have heard you're content, Dad, for some of the rubbishy papers your staff publish just to keep in the paper chase, just to have something to publish in the end of the year departmental report.
Yes, that's true.
But, above all, it is that smugness that is so appalling. That easy assumption of superiority.
And that's what your mother found?
Well, I can't be sure. But I did. I mean, I couldn't have put it in those words as a child, but looking back, yes, that is exactly what I found.
I'm sorry.
But don't you see, it's not you I'm getting at. I'm trying to explain to you why abandoning an academic career doesn't seem to me to be the end of the world.
Nevertheless, it wasn't academia that brought you up. I did.
Well, I mean, if you're going to lash yourself, there's nothing I can do to stop you, but you're missing the point.
No, I don't think so. Do you think your words would hurt so much if I didn't see some truth in them? If I hadn't begun to learn something these last months?
I'm sure you have. As I said before, I was very proud to see you serving behind a bar.
Were you? Were you really? When that woman asked you if your father lived round here, you said yes. Damn it, I was standing 3 feet from you. And it was I who said I was your father.
She was embarrassing me.
Quite.
Just didn't feel like talking.
Quite.
All right, I'm sorry. Yes, I was embarrassed to acknowledge you as my father. I'm not proud of that.
Do you want some more?
No. Thanks. You know, when I was a child, I was frightened of you.
Frightened of me?
Terrified. You were God, I suppose. You never lost your temper. You're always right. And I remember wanting to grow up so that I, too, would always know exactly what to do in every situation, would never make a mistake.
And when did you begin to notice the feet of clay?
Oh, early teens, I suppose. And then I wanted to grow up to be exactly the opposite, because you were never right.
And that was when you began to shine in science subjects?
Yes. Yes, it was, yes. I'd never thought of that.
Well, you're very intelligent. You could have done well in either.
Were you disappointed when I opted for science?
No, I was rather pleased, in fact. It demonstrated what a liberal, open-minded man I was, didn't it?
See? You see what I mean? I couldn't win!
Oh, yes, of course I do. I saw it at the time.
Oh, you did?
Yes. A natural and proper rebellion, I thought, striking out for independence. I've always despised the sort of parents who give their son a stethoscope for a christening present. It demonstrated I wasn't one of those.
Oh, yes, but of course Penny was reading arts, wasn't she? That must have softened the blow.
Yes, I suppose so.
Oh, but then, of course, she's a girl. Doesn't matter so much.
Do you really think I'm so crudely chauvinist?
Jack, there's absolutely nothing crude about you, but yes, you were, and presumably still are, chauvinist.
In what way?
Oh, in every way, just as I am, for God's sake. I mean, if you really want to see just how sexist and racist you really are, then try living with a very clever black feminist.
Put you through the mill, has she?
Yes.
Oh, lucky old you. Well, would you rather wait till you're 55 to go through the same mill?
Oh, must be tough.
It is, and it doesn't seem to end.
Well, I don't particularly want to be one of the grindstones.
No, nor does the grindstone, it just is. Attached to the shaft, it just does its job.
Well, it can stop. I can go.
Oh, come on, Simon, you know me better than that. What greater fun for an unemployed Puritan, addicted to the work ethic, guilt, and the whole ragbag of post-Reformation humanist ideas of self-improvement, than to spend an afternoon after working in a pub learning how his complacency, insensitivity, and general blindness have been handed on intact to his son.
Well, if it's any comfort, I don't think that's a fair description of you. And even if it was, the legacy is no longer intact.
Then let me hand on one more nugget of paternal wisdom. If my experience of the past few months is anything to go by, there's nothing more dangerous than thinking you've made progress and that you're now standing on firmer ground. You've probably just struggled out of the swamp onto quicksand.
Do you think we could have talked like this 6 months ago?
No. No, that is true. I'll answer that. Hello. Speaking. Well, can't you tell me over the telephone? All right, in about 3/4 of an hour.
It's not entirely good news, but,
Oh?
yes. We found your wife.
You have?
Yes, she's safe and comfortable and in no danger of any kind.
Where is she?
Ah, now that's the bad part. I'm afraid she still doesn't want us to let you know of her whereabouts.
Is she in London?
That's all I'm prepared to tell you. But she is comfortable.
That sounds like a hospital bulletin.
No, she's not in hospital.
Surely you must know something. I mean, is she working? Is she staying with friends? Has she got any money?
Simon, that's all I'm going to tell you. Oh, we received your letter to your wife, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, I'm arranging for her to receive it. In fact, I think it's gone already.
Oh? When did you post it?
Simon, I said it's gone. Please don't try to pry information out of me. In the first place, it won't work. We are, after all, experts in that line ourselves. And in the second place, I think it's in your mother's ultimate interest that we all deal entirely above board with one another. I must ask you to accept that we have only one aim, and that is to reconcile split families.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Quite understand.
Remember how Simon always hated broccoli?
Oh, he still does.
He was really finicky with his food, wasn't he?
Oh, pain in the neck.
How is he?
Very well. Oh, he's got a new girlfriend.
Yes,
Look,
I know.
Oh, did he tell you? You never said anything to us.
No. I found out since I went to London. Well, I went to where he lived. Not to meet him. I didn't feel strong enough for that, but I wanted to see him, see if he was all right. There's a cafe just opposite his front door, and I used to sit there drinking endless cups of tea. I did see him twice. Both times, he was with this girl. She's very attractive, and they both seemed very happy.
Oh,
It's all right, Penny. You see, it doesn't really matter, does it, about me or Edward, if it comes to that. We've had our day, but as long as you two are happy and settled, well, it hasn't been a complete waste, has it?
Oh, no, of course it hasn't been a waste. You mustn't even think that.
Well...
Oh, Mum, couldn't you tell Simon?
No, you promised.
Yes, I know I promised, and I'll keep my promise, but won't you think about it? Simon's really worried. You know him. He seems very hard on top, but underneath he's as soft as butter.
I couldn't face Edward. I couldn't...
No, well, you wouldn't have to. You trusted me. You would trust Simon even more, probably. You know those two have never been the best of friends, ever.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, think of the hell Simon's been going through, Mum. When it turned out that you'd been down in London last year and you hadn't been to see him, it hurt. And especially when it turned out that you hadn't been very well.
Oh, God, he probably hates me now.
Oh, no, he loves you. He's not hating you. He's blaming himself, feeling inadequate. You don't have to make any snap decisions about this, but won't you think about it? It would mean so much to him.
Well, that's marvellous news.
Not completely yet.
Well, let's have a drink to celebrate. Actually, I'm celebrating too.
Oh, what?
Later.
She's safe, well, comfortable, and living on the moon, as far as I know. They wouldn't say a thing. Not even if they'd posted or delivered my letter by hand.
Well, I'd trust them if I were you.
Oh, I do, absolutely. And I really do feel very much better.
Good. There we are. Cheers, and good luck.
Just a minute, what's your good news?
Have your drink. I think you'll need it.
That sounds ominous. Cheers.
I'm pregnant. Well, say something.
Are you happy about it?
Yes, very.
Well, congratulations.
You're not shocked?
No. No, I knew you were.
That I was brooding?
Is the father happy about it?
No, he doesn't know. When he does, I imagine he'll run a mile.
Oh, that sounds difficult.
No, it isn't difficult. I don't want to marry him. Even if he freed himself, which I know he has no intention of doing.
Did you intentionally get pregnant?
Well, sort of accidentally, on purpose, I suppose. I didn't take precautions. I hadn't for years, not since my husband left. I told him and left it to him. He was not as clever as he thought he was.
Well, I must say. But you really are happy about it?
Yes, I am. I am.
Well, there'll be a lot to do. Because a top flat's a bit difficult for a baby. But then, of course, you can leave the pram downstairs. And you've got washing machine and dryer, so washing shouldn't be a problem. And, of course, Mrs. Haddow, we've got some.
Edward, I have months and months. Sometimes you really take me by surprise.
Oh?
Well, when I was wondering what you were going to say, I certainly didn't think that you'd be talking about prams and nappies and washing
Well, I've had
machines.
2 children of my own, you know.
Oh, you are nice. I'm sure I shouldn't say this, but, I did consider asking if you would think of giving me a baby.
Me? Oh,
But I
yes.
thought maybe you had, enough problems of your own without being an unmarried father.
I think I'd better have another drink.
And that you were really too responsible for what I suppose, sadly, is the only way for me to have a baby.
Oh, Liz, I don't. I really. Dear. I mean, not that I don't find you attractive, I do.
I know, and I'm glad. Because it wouldn't have been unpleasurable for me either.
I'm not ready for new relationship of that kind.
I know that.
But I will be here to help and get in the way and just be here.
Thank you.
Now listen, Simon, if I tell you something, will you promise faithfully to keep it a secret?
What? Yes, of course I will, yes.
Well...
Mum's with you, isn't she? Of course. Of course. I didn't. It fell into place. They couldn't tell us anything, not even one detail I would have guessed.
Mum has agreed to talk to you, but you must not say anything about guessing where she was, or she'll go again. I know it.
All right, got it.
Now, she's very tense and frightened. It's going to take some time.
All right.
Mum? It's been wonderful having her here, Simon. Here she is.
Simon. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Simon. Please, please. Oh.
No, please. Please. There's nothing to be sorry about. Look, nothing matters but that you stay there till you're strong again.
But you won't... You won't...
Oh, no. I won't tell anyone. Please, I'll try and get away and see you soon.
Yes, I don't feel up to speaking much now, but I'm all right, really. Really, I'm all right.
Look, I'll phone you tomorrow. God, it's good to hear from you.
Good night, Simon.
Now, you can ring him tomorrow and have a good long talk.
I thought Ted Brett was working here.
Tracy, hello.
Oh, what are you doing hiding away down there?
Putting bottles on shelves.
Oh.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, thought I'd drop in late.
What will you have?
I don't know, a pink gin.
How do I make that?
Well, I don't know, do I? You're the bleeding barman. I saw it in a film on the telly the other night, an old film.
It's gin with Angostura bitters. I'll get it.
Falling on your feet again, I see. Got someone to look after you, huh?
Oh, yes, it seems like it. She's very nice.
Great. You could do worse than her, you know.
Thanks, but I'm not looking for anybody.
There we are. That's 98 pence, please. Thanks.
You ain't still waiting for your wife to come back, are you?
I'd like to know where she is.
Glutton for punishment.
There you go.
Ta. Oh, that's horrible.
Well, why did you order it then?
Well, I thought I'd show off, like.
Oh, Tracy.
Look, I dropped in to ask you if you wanted to do a teaching job.
A teaching job? Teaching who?
Me.
You? Why, what do you want to learn?
Well, everything really. English, maths, geography and that.
But I don't know anything about geography and maths.
Well, we could start with English then, OK?
Just a minute, Tracy. Why do you want to study?
Well, I've been stupid, haven't I, mucking about at school. I didn't even take my CSEs, did I?
And now you want to get some qualifications?
Yeah. You know, I could get a proper job where the boss isn't always trying to get his hands in me knickers.
Well, I wouldn't bank on that, Tracy. That seems to occur even at the highest levels. So I think it's a very good idea. But why don't you try the local college and study for your O-levels there?
No, I don't feel like it. I mean, they all know a lot, don't they? But I thought if I could get a start, like, you know, on my own, well, then I could go, couldn't I?
All right. Well, we'll start with English language and literature.
You will? Oh, that's great, thanks. When can we start?
Well, how about tomorrow evening at about 6?
Oh, great. Where do you live?
Oh, it's 71 Chottingham Street. Actually, if you go out here and turn right, it's the first on the left, number 71.
Smashing.
I tell you what. Why don't you write me an essay before you come and bring it with you?
Oh, I don't know what an essay is. We never did them at school, just compositions.
All right. Well, write me a composition entitled The Best Job I've Had.
Oh, that'll be short. I've never had a good job. That's what I'm doing this for.
All right. Well, write it on the worst job I've ever had.
All right. One last thing. How much will you charge?
Oh, that's all right, Tracy. I'll enjoy it.
Bloody hell, you never bleed and learn, do you? If I can't pay the proper rate, I ain't coming.
All right. Well, you find out the proper rate and pay that.
All right. Well, you could give me 10% off because I'm a mate, like.
The proper rate less 10%, agreed. And if you can work that out, you can teach me maths.
You're on. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, I didn't know you were coming up. Why didn't you give me a ring?
In case you told me not to.
Well, I wouldn't have done that. I'm pleased to see you.
Where's Mum?
Oh, she's just gone for a little walk with Debbie. Why don't you hop in? I'll give you a lift down to the house. Eh?
Penny, how is Mum? Really?
Well, much better than I would have expected. But it's all very much on the surface. Underneath, she's as tight as a drum.
Has she said it?
No, nothing much. As soon as we get anywhere near the dreaded subjects like Dad or money, she clams up. Or makes an excuse to go out for a walk or go and have a rest or something.
Still, she's here. That's the main thing.
I wanted to get Dr. Gerard over to have a talk with her. Well, she wouldn't hear of that. Have you seen Dad much?
Quite a bit. Do you know what he's doing now?
No.
He's working as a barman in a pretty rough Islington pub.
You're joking.
Stands there behind the pump. Pints, I think, is it?
Oh, Simon, you're having me on.
That's true. He stands there with his English essay face and a little bow tie, having some immense local...
Why are we laughing? This isn't funny.
I know. Maybe it is. He's used to dispense knowledge. Now he dispenses beer.
Oh, Simon, that's terrible. He must be very miserable.
You know, he isn't. Oh, he's worried. Deep down, he still feels guilty and all that, but I don't think you'll know Dad when you see him. He's changed.
Yes, well, whatever you do, don't tell Mum what he's been doing. It'll only make her feel more guilty.
No, of course I won't. I think I'll go out and meet Mum. Debbie's there, it might be easier for her.
Oh, easier for you, you mean? That's a good idea.
Debbie, is this your new climbing frame? On the slide as well.
5 steps.
Oh, Simon, it's good to see you again.
I've woken you. I am sorry.
No. Oh, good Lord, it's nearly 6 o'clock. It's a good job you did come in, please.
Well, just for a minute. I was popping down to tell you that I'm going away for the weekend.
But it's nearly 6 o'clock on Saturday already.
Yes, I know. I've left it as late as I decently dare. I'm going to see my mother. I shall take her out to dinner and be back by tea time tomorrow.
Are you going to tell her about the baby?
I don't know. I don't have to. I mean, there is plenty of time. I think I'll play it by ear.
Well, good luck.
Oh, Edward, I am sorry.
No, not at all. I had to get up. Tracy's coming.
Oh, the young girl.
Yes.
Like that, is it? Maybe I should stay and chaperone.
Oh, you're a fine one to talk. I'm sure that in the best social circles, an unmarried pregnant woman wouldn't be accepted as a chaperone.
Touché.
Actually, she's coming round for an English lesson.
Ah, so you'll be educating Rita.
No, Tracy.
Oh, Edward.
Which room's Ted Brett's?
Do you mean Professor Brett?
I suppose so, yeah.
Is he expecting you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. He's this way. This person says she has an appointment with you.
Hello, Tracy. Yes, that's right, Mrs. Haddow.
Oh, that's all right then, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Oh, she's a real pain in the neck, isn't she?
Actually, she's very nice.
Are you a real professor?
Yes, I am.
God, fancy learning English off a real professor.
Well, yes, you see, you'd probably do better with a secondary school teacher. I mean, somebody who's qualified to teach at your level.
I don't want no ordinary teachers. They ain't done me no good so far.
No. Well, let's get started then.
Yeah, but in the lessons, shall I call you Professor?
It doesn't matter to me, Tracy. Call me what you've always called me.
Ted.
Well, if you really wanted to please me, you could call me by my proper name, which is Edward.
Edward. Yeah, it's better that. Ted's common, isn't it?
Have you written your composition?
Yes, Edward.
Let me see it then. You're looking very attractive tonight, Tracy.
Got me glad rags on. Going to a disco down the Mecca. Saturday night, isn't it?
Thank you. Sit down there, please.
You've got a lot of books.
Yes.
Have you read them all?
Most of them, yes.
How many?
Look, Tracy, you read that to me.
What, me read it? Well, can't you understand my writing?
Actually, your handwriting is very clear, but I'm used to students reading their essays to me, and it'll stop you talking about my books.
There's no need to get shirty.
I'm not getting shirty, Tracy. Just read it to me, please.
The worst job I've ever had. The worst job I've ever had was washing dishes in a cafe. It was a big place up west and only lasted 4 days, but it was the worst 4 days of my life. The kitchen was hot and noisy, and my back killed me with leaning over the sink all the time. On top of that, my hands went all crinkly and my nails were horrible. But that wasn't the worst part of the job. The worst part was that nobody took any notice of nobody. I was just stuck there, and the waiters would rush in and dump another load of plates and rush off. There wasn't really enough people working there, what with all the people they were serving, mostly hamburgers and things like that. So nobody had time for nobody. That was worse than all the steam and noise and heat and that. I have been in jobs where they took too much notice of you, always checking up on you to see you was working, or sometimes men would take liberties all the time, knocking up against you or making remarks or trying to be funny. I don't like that neither. But at least you know you're alive when you're there, and most of the men are so stupid you can put them in their place. And if they're not too bad, you can have a bit of fun. But in the cafe, nobody took any notice at all. You was just stuck there like you was part of the sink, and that's why I say it's the worst job I ever had.
Interesting.
But you liked it?
I like the ideas. There are a lot of grammatical mistakes, and it needs to be organised.
Organised?
Well, if you're going to write properly, you have to stand back for a moment and think, what am I going to say? What are the ideas I want to get across?
Yeah, but there weren't any ideas. I was just saying why I hated the job.
Oh, but there was a very important idea in your essay, that a job is not just work. It is also a situation where there are relationships. And to be happy in a job,
There have to be opportunities to feel part of a group of people.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So, if that's the leading idea, let's make a plan of the essay divided into paragraphs.
Oh, I hated paragraphs at school.
No, but they're very important, Tracy. I mean, if you're building a house, say, or making a dress, you don't do it all at once, do you? You make the sleeves, and then the collar, and then the bodice and the skirt, and then you put them all together and you have a dress.
You should have seen the dress I tried to make. I wouldn't be seen dead in it.
Yes, well, we're not talking about dressmaking, but writing. So look, you bring your chair next to mine, and together we'll make out a plan of your essay, so you'll see what I mean. All right?
Yeah.
Did Penny tell you about Nikki, Mum?
Oh, just that you had a girlfriend called Nikki.
Yes, well, we've been together for some time now.
Oh, good. I did catch sight of you both in London.
Oh, well, I wish you'd... Yes, well, I'm glad you've seen her. Where was it?
Well, actually, I was in a cafe and you both passed by outside.
Small world.
Mum, what you did, tell Simon. It'll mean a lot to him.
Oh, the cafe is just opposite your front door. I wanted to see you, but, well, you know,
Oh, Mum.
Anyway, tell me about her. What does she do?
She's a student reading Philip. Why didn't you come in and talk to us?
Please, Simon, don't press me.
Sorry. Well, I'm glad you wanted to see me.
Mum, you and Simon go into the living room. Colin and I will do the washing up.
Oh, no, we'll all help.
No, nonsense. You settle down in there. And we'll bring through some coffee. Now, Simon, there's some brandy in the cupboard, and you'll find some glasses in there as well.
I'd rather plough a 50-acre field any day.
Oh, dear, look, the time's just sped away.
Yeah.
I've got to be at the pub at 7:30.
Full-time job, then?
No, not really. I'm just filling in for the regular man who's ill. So, Tracy, we've got your essay all planned out now. There you are. And by next time, I want it rewritten to that plan.
Oh, no, it'd be boring. I wrote it once.
Well, I think you should, because this time you won't have to think of the content, will you? I mean, what it's about. You can concentrate on the shape of the essay and making all the points clearly and in order.
All right. You said that there was a lot of grammar mistakes in the writing.
Well, we can't do everything at once, can we? We'll just have to take that as it comes up. Well, if you like, we'll deal with one point now. You said nobody cared about nobody.
Yeah, that's right, nobody.
Well, now, think about it. It doesn't make sense. If nobody cared about nobody, there'd be no harm in that, would there?
You would think so if it was you.
If it were me, I wouldn't be nobody, would I? I would be somebody.
Yeah, but you can't say nobody cared about somebody.
No, but you could say nobody cared about anybody.
Nobody cared about nobody. Nobody cared about anybody.
Nobody cared,
about anybody. Oh, yeah, that's right, isn't it? I mean, nobody cared about nobody. That makes sense. It's stupid.
No, it's not stupid, Tracy. It's just what you're used to saying. And we're going to change that.
OK. Now, I found out that Jack down the road pays £3 for his son to have private arithmetic lessons. So I took the 10% off, like you said, and that makes £2.70. There you go.
Right, thank you very much. Now, when shall I see you again?
When you like. I'm at work during the day, though.
Well, why don't you rewrite that essay tomorrow and come around after work on Monday, say, 6 o'clock again?
All right, that's great. Well, I don't know, really.
Why? You can't make much progress on just an hour a week.
Well, it's the money. I mean, more than one lesson a week, it would add up.
Well, why don't we count the £3 as a weekly salary, however many lessons you have?
That don't sound fair.
But if we did it that way, you couldn't have the 10% off.
All right. Here you are, 30p. I'll see you Monday.
Good. Thank you.
I still think you're a mug, but a nice one.
Trace.
So, what have you two been talking about?
Just filling Mum in on Nicky and things, isn't it?
Oh, well, I wish I hadn't missed that. You haven't told me much.
Well, there isn't a lot to say, is there? I mean, we're very happy. One thing I would say is I think Dad has been absolutely marvellous with Nicky.
Oh, well, that's good.
Of course, she knew his work long before she knew me, and in fact, it probably gave me a head start in the beginning.
But I thought you said that she was reading philosophy and law.
Oh, that's just mainly to increase the chance of getting a job. She would have preferred English honours.
Oh, well, that must be very difficult for you.
Why?
Oh, Si, if I could quote to you exactly what you used to say about poetry, for example.
Oh, that was years ago, and you used to say that to annoy Dad. Do you remember, Mum, how you used to say...
Look, I know what you're doing, and I know you mean well, but... I never want to see your father again, so can we just stop all these games?
Mum, we don't want anything that you wouldn't be happy with.
Well, you'll just have to let me be the judge of what that is, Penny.
Yes, of course.
Look, we won't play any games. As far as I'm concerned, we're not playing any games. Let me just say one thing. Dad is a different man. He's a nicer one, I think, and I hope one day you want to see that for yourself.
You don't know what went on. Or rather, what didn't. Look, can we just drop the subject? Or if you prefer, I'll go up to my room and just leave it.
No, please, don't do that.
All right. But let me just say one thing. If either of you spring your father on me, I'll go away. And I'll never forgive you.
Busy, isn't it?
Hasn't started yet. You give it another hour, then it really gets exciting.
That'll be $1.90, please.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Pint of bitter, please.
A pint of bitter coming up.
Haven't seen you before.
Well, no, this is my first Saturday night. It's very busy, isn't it?
Yes, well, it would be. Every one night out, isn't it?
So that'll be 82 pence, please.
Thanks, make that another 5.
Excuse me, that's that gentleman's.
It's all right. I'm in no hurry.
Don't you think it stinks in it?
Yeah, Tom's horrible.
Why do you let people that stink in it?
I'm afraid I don't know to what you are referring.
Oh, listen, to what I'm referring. I mean, what are you, a professor or something?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because as a matter of fact, I am.
Oh, yeah? If you're a professor, what are you doing working in a pub for, then?
Well, it's a very long story.
Got caught with your hands in a till, did you?
No, nothing like that.
Thought you wish that, Spet.
Well, it all sounds very exciting, but it wasn't anything like that. No, I just retired, and then I got bored with doing... You did say 6 pints, didn't you?
Yeah. So you think you're very clever, do you?
Not particularly, no.
Well, you ain't all that clever, see? I mean, you think you can keep us here talking, don't you? While all the time the nignogs that are making this place stink are getting out.
Oh, no!
Stay out of it! Go on! Through there! Skinheads!
Semper Charlie, request assistance and ambulance. All right, sir?
He's the barman.
Not to worry, sir. Skinheads, knifing. They went out the back of the Earl. Should be in Catherine Street. Stay here, please, sir. We need some statements from you.
Got one of the bastards.
I ain't done nothing.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it, Sonny? Got you for possession right away, haven't I? Got one there.